Hello, my people. How are you? Guys, forget about what happened on the weekend. That's why I never even came up and obviously did a match reaction, because I think I'm not in the mood to obviously come here and obviously mourn about it. Yet we really have some big business that is obviously going to be taking at Manchester United, all happening at Manchester United, that can obviously give Manchester United a very good go when it comes to what we call this Champions League that is obviously going to be played next season. And I've already told you that my match reactions are limited to the UEFA Europa League. That is it, because in the Premier League, I think it's done business for the club of Manchester United. We can no longer get relegated. And secondly, Man United can't obviously surpass, that 10th team in there. I think we're obviously going to finish in the bottom half. So that's why we come into this episode to obviously bring you what we think about the game of Man United hosting Lyon. You understand? United is going to be hosting Lyon. That is tomorrow at Old Trafford. And remember, the first leg ended 2-2 at their stadium, and this time around they're coming at Manchester United, and they're obviously going to be doing the needful. Over the weekend, Lyon went ahead to beat Hojlund by 3-1. Who was on target? Alexandre Lacazette, Ryan Cherki, who is linked to Manchester United, and Georges Mikatudez were really on target, and they're like, we want to obviously come up and really put up a challenge when you're playing against Man United at Old Trafford tomorrow. I'm going to obviously see both managers come up here and obviously give us their thoughts about this beautiful encounter. And I was like, all right, we are good to go to hear from these managers. And I think United will obviously do the needful. And this is the biggest game, We are 4 games away from really being into next year's Champions League. And I think that is exactly what everyone should be looking at. 4 games away. That of Lyon. The other, we are going to be playing into the second, into the semis. If at all you know. And then there is one that has always gone ahead to see to it that it really takes us to where we deserve to be. And that will be the final. If at all we knock out the winner between Rangers and Atletico Bilbao. So, welcome to this channel. Smash the like button and let's obviously get up and running to bring you what our thoughts are about this beautiful game of football as Manchester United prepares to take on one of the sides that really can do the needful. Now, let's talk about the injuries. Matthias De Ligt is out, but the manager has said he'll come back before the season comes to an end, meaning that if we play in the final, this guy will be back and will be doing the needful. Amadi Diallo is also out. Aiden Heaven is also out. And Lisandro Martinez is out with a knee injury. John Evans, back injury, and Toby Collier is having a leg injury and is in the treatment room. Chido Obi Martin is ineligible to play, and that's what United will obviously have to deal with. Now, as for Lyon, key winger Ernest Nkuum is ruled out for the rest of the season with an ACL injury sustained earlier this month. Then Malik Fofana is also sidelined with an injury. Czech thrived, and he'll obviously come and do the needful, and that's what we're really having to do. So that's exactly how the team of Lyon is really standing as far as injuries are really concerned. They don't have really very many injuries that can obviously shock anyone. So that's how we anticipate them to stand, and that really takes us into Manchester United, because we all know what we need. It's a win. Drew 2-2 away from home. We first conceded. We leveled through Lenioro. Then Zexi off the bench came in through and obviously did the needful. And even Joshua Zexi is one of those that is out of this. And the manager has told us today that until next season, that's when Joshua Zexi will obviously come and show up. Then, let's get into the probable starting 11 for the club of Manchester United as we prepare to take on Lyon. So, 3-4-2-1 is the system, and we get into the onto the pitch. Now, I would like to pose a question to you. Who do you start in goal? Is it Onana or Atil Beinda? I tell you, every other day that passes by, Onana ahead of Atil Beinda, because I've gone to tell you that Onana is a very good goalkeeper, but ask yourself, is the team really performing very well? So I don't really agree with people who come out with narratives, obviously trying to pin the players, I really hate that, I really hate that when I see people coming out and really pin up players, yet the entire team is really performing badly. If you've been following up this entire occasion, I tell you, we all know what it is. It's all about the club of Manchester United not really playing very well. So I bring Onana to play in between the stitches for the club of Manchester United. Tomorrow he returns, according to me, and I've even gone ahead to see Fabrizio Romano tweeting about it, that the manager said it's Onana returning in goal. Then 3-man central defense. On the right side of the 3-man central defense, we obviously get a player known as Mazarawi to play there. He's really good that side. Left side of the 3-man central defense, Lenny Yoro. He's really very important. And I was not shocked when Lenny Yoro went ahead, obviously, score against this team, because he is one of those players that has been playing into the French League One recently and consistently, and he knew exactly what Lyon could put up. Then in the central defense, Harry Maguire will obviously have to feature into that central defense of Manchester United, and that is the back three in there for the club of Manchester United. Then we go to the right wing back. This is where Dalot comes in through to play part into this game of football. He returns after really having an assist over the weekend when United was obviously when United was being annihilated by Newcastle at the said James's Park by 4-1. That is Diego Dalot for you. Left wing back, obviously, he's none other than Patrick Dogu. Patrick Dogu will obviously come and play part onto that side. Remember, in the game of Newcastle, the manager went ahead to rest him a little bit because he knew to eat that we had a very huge job ahead of us tomorrow at Old Trafford, and he really played him. He played him off the bench and just some minutes in there. That's what he really went ahead to do in there for the side of Patrick Dogu. And guess who came in through and put in a very big shift? It was none other than Harry Amaz, who went ahead and obviously came and really showcased or put up a very beautiful showcase in there. So that's how we really anticipate that to go. Then another player who played in the French League One last season is Manuel Ugarte, but the difference in between him and this guy known as Lenny Yoro, he never featured prominently like Lenny Yoro. So he knows exactly this team known as Lyon, and he'll also be doing the needful. And that's why the manager took him off early enough, because he needed to rest, as he saw to it that there is nothing could obviously get back, and he took him off. Casemiro was one of those that really never started the game, and the manager knew exactly why he did it, because he knew exactly that this guy was really one of a kind, and that is the double pivot that I believe the manager will obviously command to obviously win the midfield battle in between United and the side of Lyon. And we know what it's all about. Midfield wins. They've always told us that games of football alone and worst in the midfield. Then the two number 10s on the right. The right number 10 will obviously be Bruno Fernandes in there. One of those players that has prominently featured into these last 2-3 months in the era of Ruben Amorim. He has been really very prominent, got himself an assist when you're playing against them, and he did the needful. Then look at the left number 10 is obviously going to be Alejandro Garnacho, scoring against Newcastle. I think he'll be granted an opportunity to see to it that he puts in the best of the best into what he can really put up at the club of Manchester United as we take on the club known as Lyon. So that is exactly how things are really panning out for the club of Manchester United, and I don't know what your thoughts are about that. Leading the line without Joshua Zexi, and then a player called Chido Obi Martin being ineligible to play, you know what happens. United goes exactly for Rasmus Hojlund to lead the line in there for you. And he last scored when you're playing against, is it Leicester City? And really put up an assist for the club of Manchester United when we were playing against Real Sociedad in the game that saw United knock out that entire Spanish team known as Real Sociedad. Now, when we go to the side of Lyon, how do you expect them to line up? They obviously do a system of 4-4. They do a 4-2-3-1 system, and I think they'll obviously come up with it again. And this is how we anticipate the look. Perry will obviously do the needful in goal. Maitland-Niles, right back. Tagliafico, left back. Then Mata and Niakite in the central defense. Then you'll have Tolisso and Verout doing the needful. And we'll put in a very beautiful showcase altogether. Then Okunku into the mix to play as a central attack midfielder as Almanda Cheki, and Mikurutaze will do the needful in there. So that's the probable starting 11 for that side. And we anticipate they'll obviously put up a very beautiful showcase in there. Now, let's get straight into the head-to-head stats as they are being brought to us in here by Google. So smash the like button and guys, continue to subscribe because we want to hit that magic number that you've always gonna hate to know about. One reads, this will be the third time Man United have faced Lyon in Europe competition at Old Trafford, with the Red Devils winning both prior meetings, 2-1 in November 2004 and 1-0 in March 2008. So every time they've gone ahead, obviously come up and really face Lyon at Old Trafford, United has obviously gone ahead to really do what we call a dominancy, and they've gone ahead obviously win, and that's what they've gone ahead to enjoy all time. So that is Man United for you, and I tell you what, they're really doing the best job possible. So secondly, Lyon have lost just one of their 9 European games against sides from England, 4 draws and 4 wins. A 3-0 defeat to West Ham during the 2021-2022 UEFA Europa League. So he's really very known about that. Thirdly, Man United have lost each of their last 2 European home games from French sides, 2-0 and 3-1 versus PSG in February 2019 and December 2020, after remaining unbeaten, after remaining unbeaten across their prior 14 matches between 1965 and 2017, 10 wins and 4 draws. Fourthly, Lyon are unbeaten across the last 12 away UEFA Europa League games. That is really a very huge start. And Manchester United really have to look through it. They have 9 wins and 3 draws, hence a 1-0 defeat to Atalanta in December 2017. And lastly, Man United remain unbeaten across their 11 UEFA Europa League games this season. They're having 6 wins, and they're having 6 wins and 5 draws, right? The last time the Red Devils began a European campaign unbeaten across their opening 11 matches, they eventually went to lose 3-1 in 2010-2011 UEFA Champions League final against Barcelona. So these are really signals that maybe Man United might play in the final, because the last time they really had such a start, they had to play in the final as indicated. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below. Who do you add into this team and who do you really get out? But I think a 3-1 win for the club of Manchester United is my prediction. I see United going through to the next level, but it will call up for lots of things into the mix. So that's all about the club of Manchester United. I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but I've gone ahead obviously give you what you totally deserve and totally need to know about this game. So your reactions are hugely welcome in the comment section below. But my prediction is 3-1 in favor of Manchester United, but that is my probable starting 11. Who do you want in? Who do you want out? And who exactly will be very beneficial for the club of Manchester United in this. I know Bruno Fernandes will play a very big part. The same applies to Dalot, Casemiro with his experience, Lenny Yoro because of his pace, as you're going to be playing a high line as a club of Manchester United into this encounter. So that's what I had for you in here. I'm out, and see you when you see me. Bye-bye. And I'm still watching Arsenal, right? Playing the side of Real Madrid. And looks like Real Madrid haven't gone ahead, obviously, put in a gear that can obviously see everyone think that they can obviously knock out the side of Arsenal. It's still 0-0 by the time I've gone ahead, obviously, recorded this video. But on Rokani Media Football, that's where I'm going to be to bring you the briefs of how this game of football has gone ahead to go on. We out, and bye-bye.